Guyanese brothers and sisters, before we actually get into the article, we would like to know as a country if there is not an age of retirement for parliamentarians. And if there's not an age for the retirement of parliamentarians, there should be one implemented. I mean, right now, Miss Janet Cummins, the acting Chancellor of the Judiciary, is right now, based on what we've seen in the public domain, being basically asked to retire. And she's being pushed out. And now she has applied for early retirement leave. And that woman seems fairly young. So it seems like every other profession under the sun has a retirement age except for that of a parliamentarian, which is a very important role. And we are asking for the retirement age to be implemented. By that time, the parliamentarians, they can already come into parliament at age 40, 45, whatever. We see Mr. Kioma, the new Kioma Griffith, the new Minister of Labour. He's very young and he's in parliament now. So by that time, you guys can make a lot of money, and it's time to, turn a new leaf and make room for new, young, innovative minds that are going to push this country forward. But let's read the article. The government of Guyana has rejected the latest Rule of Law Index report by the World Justice Project, contending that the report used old and outdated data and is not a true reflection of Guyana's 2025 realities. Well, we can already know from the first paragraph, this basically exposes the actual states of affairs on the ground in Guyana, and the government isn't gonna like it. You guys can recall when Transparency International was in this country and gave us a 38% on the corruption index, and immediately the president said that they are scripting narrative, that they arrive at their index based on narrative. But whose narrative? Do you remember that? As long as a body shows up the government negativity in a negative light, they always try to debunk that body. So I can tell, before even reading further, that whatever score they have been given on the latest Rule of Law Index, the government doesn't like it because it shows the actual truth of what is going on in Guyana. But let's continue, brothers and sisters. Guyana ranked 80 out of 143 countries in the Rule of Law Index, down from 78 in 2024. Just imagine, we're 80 out of 143 in rule of law. Guyana's overall rule of law score decreased by less than 1% in this year's index. But the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance shut down the report today and underscored the need for transparent and methodologically sound assessments. The ministry said while Guyana values mechanism that facilitates such comparative review, it would appear that the index report, particularly in the case of Guyana, was compiled using outdated information. So it seems like only maybe in Guyana, the people compile it using outdated information. The Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, Ms. Gail Teixeira. Once the index, whatever review, whatever research is done, whatever investigation is done, does not accede to the narrative of the People's Progressive Party, Civic One Guyana government, they're always going to try to shut it down. They're never going to try to fix the dysfunctions in this country and get themselves in line so next time when the people come to do their index, they're in better standings. They're always going to find a problem with the measure than actually find a problem with their governance and try to fix it. And I want you guys to start tracking these patterns from the government. The same way when Transparency International were here and they got a 38%, the same way they try to debunk that rating. But we know what's going on the ground in our country. The ministry contends that the 2025 report relies on old data set, including an household polling data which originates from 2018 and 2022 by the Statmar Group. It said neither of these face-to-face surveys were ever made public at the time, nor does the public know of the Statmar Group. The Governance Ministry said by its own admission, the report states that where rule of law is stronger, so is the economy. The government of Guyana, You know why this economy seems stronger, Minister of Governance? Because you guys are oppressing the Guyanese people. And because y'all oppressing the Guyanese people and you borrowing money every minute of the day, you guys continue to build up and build up and build up things with a lot of substandard infrastructure in many communities, and you continue to underpay people. So this is why it seems like the economy is strong, because you guys are building up your utopia. But the reality of the matter is you guys are wasting the money. You guys are running roads in communities, developing communities before you run pipes. And then when you finish, you break up the roads to run the pipes. This is what is going on in the country. You guys would have invested 1.3 and higher billion dollars in gas to energy thus far. It hasn't yielded us 1 ounce of benefit. But hey, you guys went and brought in 2 power ships and are paying millions of dollars for those power ships. I wonder if the people that did this index realize how many times you guys get blackout in this country. I wonder if they even know that you guys get blackout in this country 4 times out of the week, and that there's no water running in the pipes at schools. This is why you guys have this rule of law index that is so low. You guys were hoping to use that little soundbite by the people that actually did the review that says where the rule of law is stronger, so is the economy. You guys thought this would have given you an out. But the people came in and they can see that the rule of law is being ignored many a time. The rule of law is very partial many of time. The rule of law can be biased many of times. And the people give you a grade like the grade you deserve. You guys are making our country look bad. Everybody, every external body that comes into this country that does a little review, does a little assessment, does investigations, once it doesn't suit your government, you guys come out and try to bash it. Instead of you guys trying to fix the problem with the government, so when the people come back, they do not find that, you guys continue to make excuses as to why the people are wrong, why the people are using the wrong metric, the people are using the wrong narrative. We don't want to hear these things. We want the government to actually fix it, because right now we can see what's going on with the rule of law. It's very partial. It's very, very partial, and we can point to several cases, and we have been pointing to several cases. Just go through the Eternity Enterprise page and you can find it. So brothers and sisters, both home and abroad in the diaspora, the rule of law in this country right now is seeming to be very biased, and there are a lot of questionable rulings that are being disseminated by our judicial system. And if this is the actual index report that Guyana got, we are asking for whoever it is that did the report to do an investigation as to why this report would have came back like this. And we're still asking the question, at what age does a parliamentarian have to retire? Because these dinosaurs in politics, I can't believe it. They don't have any idea. I don't know if Miss Gail Teixeira comes to Linden and drives around Linden, because Linden have been neglected, Miss Gail Teixeira. Linden has been neglected and forgotten, Miss Gail Teixeira. And we need new people with new ideas that are going to actually have the vision to spread the bread out a little thinner, to inject some equity into governance. And you have served your position well. But it's time for you to actually consider, it's time for the government to consider drafting policies that stipulates a retirement age for parliamentarians. This is an Eternity Enterprise presentation. Y'all stay safe.